Let me ask you a question. What if a 25-second video could add $10 million in volume to your mortgage business? This is with no cold calls, no ads, no marketing team, just your phone, your face, and a very simple message. Well, today's guest did exactly that. He didn't hire a funnel guy. He didn't learn TikTok dances. He just sent short, personalized videos to people in his circle and completely turned his year around. In this episode, I talked to Scott McCracken and share how joining Game of Phones and deciding to reach out to the people in his network and with really simple messages has completely transformed his year and added $10 million in mortgages to his business with a really simple 25-second video. In this conversation, I get him to actually script it out and say, pretend, what would you say to me? So if you're listening, you literally have a playbook that you can go and run to add mortgages to your business. It's very simple and very effective. Hey, I'm Scott Beckford, the founder of Bricks Mortgage and the host of the Out of Mortgage Brokering podcast. Each week, I bring you guests to inspire you, to motivate you, to learn from so you can apply to your mortgage business. And today, I absolutely love my conversation with Scott. He shares how we run this thing at our brokerage called Game of Phones, and you can do this whatever brokerage you're at. Effectively, what it is we run this contest with basically a game, a competition for prospecting, and it's incredible what can happen with consistency and just a simple video. Before we jump into that, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Ownwell. Ownwell is an amazing tool for Canadian mortgage brokers to interact with their database. They send out these custom reports that show home equity buying power and create a lot of conversations around what can I do? Can I buy a place? Should I sell? Should I refi? Open rates are 60 to 80%, and customers love it. Brokers love it. Reach out to ownwell.ca/Scott to check it out and check out this conversation with Scott McCracken. Hey, Scott, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks very much, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Hey, awesome. So tell me a little bit about yourself and how did you get in the mortgage biz?
I've been in the business now for about 7 years. My son used to play fastball and Adam Walker was his coach. So Adam recruited me into CIBC. I worked for the bank for the first 4 years of my mortgage life. And then the last 2.5 years, I've been in the broker channel. It's best move I could have made. In the bank business, I just got tired of trying to fit clients in a really small box. Mm-hmm. And going to the broker channel, I can say yes to so many more people because I have so many more options available to me. So it's been a great change.
Amazing. And so what was the thing that just made you decide to change from being working at the bank as a bank specialist? Were there two or three, if you had to narrow it down to 2 or 3 things that you were kind of the final straw that made you make the decision, what were they?
Well, I think in my final month at the bank, lost count, it was somewhere between 15 and 20 deals that I had to say no to. Because of various reasons that, like I say, it didn't fit into the tight box that the bank offered. So, and I knew Adam, again, had moved over to the broker channel and was telling me about the flexibility of deals available and the support that you receive at Bricks. And I just decided to make the jump at that point. It was primarily driven by the fact that I wanted to
you're getting a lot of no's from your, I mean, you have only one. I always think of it, if you're working at the bank, no offense to our bank specialists listening, but exactly. It's like you have a golf bag with one golf club in it. And hopefully it's the right one, as in it's a good golf club when it works. But if you need a different golf club, then it may not be the right one for the situation.
Exactly. Yeah, right. That's exactly it.
What was the hardest part about transitioning from doing the bank specialist role for 4 years? I know you did lots of mortgages when you were there. What was the most challenging part for you?
One of the things was learning all new systems again. Being a little bit part of the older generation. Maybe I don't adapt to the technology as quick as I would like. So certainly learning that, and as well developing another client base. One of the benefits of the bank is they do hand you some leads. Certainly on the broker side, it's all on you.
So part of it is having to go find business, but the other part is the systems. What about, did you find underwriting to be much different, or what were there any challenges that you found now that you had to learn all these different products and stuff?
I enjoyed the underwriting aspect so much better on the broker side, to be honest with you. I feel like most of our underwriting partners, lender partners, really treat you as a client on the broker side, whereas I found with the bank, and again, not to just too much on the banks here, but I found that quite often us against them mentality on the underwriting side, whereas I feel when moving over to the broker side that it's been more of a partnership. People really want to work with you.
And then how have you noticed in terms of compensation differences between bank specialist and mortgage broker.
Wow. That's
I know. I went there. I went right there. I'm like, so how do you feel?
that is a huge difference, Scott. You're compensated much better.
Like, how many more transactions would you need to do? So let's say if you were making, I don't know, $10,000 a month or something, what would the number of transactions you would need, do you think, in the bank side versus the broker side?
I'd need to do 4 times the number of transactions on the bank side to make what I make on the broker side.
And that doesn't account for the tax efficiencies that you have of having your own business versus being a T4 employee, right?
Absolutely.
That number is even bigger when you take into account the fact that you, again, that we're not, hey, if you're a bank specialist and you love it, keep doing it. We're just saying for some people, this is a good fit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The pay difference is really incredible. And you're right about the tax savings as well.
We run this thing at our brokerage called Game of Phones. It's something I used to run in a coaching company. And you won our last, we do a battle royale. And so walk me through, maybe I'll give a little context on this first, and then I'm going to ask about it so that I know what it is, you know what it is, but so people understand the why I'm asking these questions for you. So essentially, Game of Phones is a way we gamify the activity that everybody struggles with, or most people struggle with, which is prospecting, typically phone calls, but it could be DMs or other types of messaging. The idea is that we create a game around it and we keep score. And, most recently we've been creating teams so that you're participating as a team. You're trying to win the cup like the Leafs. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but you're trying to win and you're also trying to support your team. And it's amazing how people show up different. Same activity, but all of a sudden they show up different because it's the psychology of playing a game versus, and we've seen this when I ran the coaching company, and we see the same thing at the brokerage level. And I wanted to talk to you about because you've run a few different experiments now, and I want to talk about those experiments. I guess tell me first, what's been the impact in your business in, participating in something like this? Whether you did, I'm not saying people have to do it at a brokerage, hang it with some friends and do it. It's a useful thing to do. What made you decide to kind of jump into that?
I always enjoyed kind of competition and whatnot. So that kind of gets me going too. I was just making a couple calls before we jumped on here, actually.
Of course you were. You're racking up some more points before the end of this session.
The impact's been pretty dramatic for me. First part of the year, I was not doing my phone calls the way that I should have. My results were showing it. Joined the Game of Phones, the first round of Game of Phones this year. As of today, I have 15 live deals in my funnel. So it's really made a dramatic impact on my business. In particular, this year, it just shows like the volumes. I'm 5 times what I was right now versus the first quarter of this year. So right. I'm expecting considerably higher than that. So it's a trigger that reminds you each and every day to dedicate 1 hour to doing prospecting. You just have to make time for it. For me, the strategy that I've used and that I found most useful is video DMs. That's what I based my entire first round of Game of Phones on, was video DMing my social media friends and followers on Instagram. Yeah. And it's just a real quick
so that's what I was going to ask you next is, if let's say most people, the average person has 300 followers on friends on Facebook, or, it could be more. So what did you just decided, okay, I'm going to reach out to everybody that I have some connection with. And what did you say? Did you have the same thing you said to everybody, or did you modify it based on the person? I'm curious of how did that work?
Yeah, so it's all personalized. So it's not a bulk.
So if I was again, this will help our listeners. If I was connected to you as a friend and maybe you and I worked together at one time in the past, what would you say to me? So this hint, this is a script he's about to share. Tell me what you would say if you were to send me a video.
I just say, hey, Scott, nice to see you again. I hope everything's going well with you and your family. Working together at whatever place was great. I just send this out every once in a while to my
Cheesecake Factory. Works at the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay. It was great working with you at the Cheesecake Factory. I just take this time to remind my friends on Facebook or Instagram that I do mortgages. And if you need a mortgage, or if you have any questions regarding your mortgage, please keep me in mind. And if you have any family, friends, or coworkers that require a mortgage, please refer me. I'd really appreciate it. And that's it.
Okay, so that's it. You sent that message. Okay, I think you told me you sent about 500 of these, right? Over the course of how long? Over what period of time? I
do about 20 to 25 a day.
So that would be like a month or a month and a bit. It wouldn't take much more than a month because you're going to get 100 to 125 a week. On average. Yeah. So, okay.
On Facebook and on Instagram, they only allow you about a 30-second recording. So you have to be really efficient with your message. And the feedback that I receive is people really enjoy receiving it, first of all, because we have some sort of connection at some point in our lives. And they say
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, at Cheesecake Factory. I also like the fact that it's not overly salesy. It's not like I'm asking a lot. It's just, hey, just reminding you that I'm doing this. I've had people who tell me that it reminds them of a video business card.
If you send them out, how many people would reply? If you sent out, say, 20 in a day, how many would reply? How many would ignore you? I'm curious what was sort of the... And did anybody say, Scott, screw off, I hate you, whatever?
Yeah, no, I didn't run into that once, thankfully.
Okay. But you did. Okay, so but how many people would reply or say something or would not? Yeah, if you sent 20.
I'd say 6 to 8 people reply and just say, hey, nice to hear from you, and I'll keep you in mind. Or I've had numerous times where people have replied back with their renewal dates and said, hey, I got a mortgage renewing this date, so let's connect.
Right. But here, let's be honest, if you didn't do that, they probably would not have sent you that, right?
No. And I'm surprised how many people that I've hung around with and whatnot that'll come back to me afterwards and say, I didn't know you did mortgages.
Right. And you talk about it all the time, but nobody notices. I mean, that's the truth of it, right? So, okay, you send out these DMs and then you don't overly think about it other than you bang off, say, 20 of them a day. And then how many leads did you get from that first batch that you did?
Oh, from the first batch, I think it was about 25 leads.
Right. So 25 leads you got from that. And then now some of those have converted into live deals. But the reality is you got that conversation going. And have you had anybody who didn't, and the reason I'm asking this, I think it's probably true, who didn't reply to you at all, but then later on came back and said, hey, I got a mortgage question, or I have a friend who needs a mortgage, because maybe they watched it and they're standing in the line at the grocery store. You've planted the seed, but they don't need what you have right now. Have you seen that happen?
Yeah, that's the real bonus is when you suddenly get an email or a call saying, hey, my kids are starting to look at a house. Can you help them out? And it's like, you didn't even reply to my DMs or
But they still saw it. They still saw it.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. It plants the seed and it goes on that could be as much as 3-4 months out. If
you're listening to this, the fact that 12 people out of 20 did not reply doesn't matter, because a lot of them still viewed it. And the seed was still planted, whether they reply right now or not. And you never know when it's going to pop. So from that, okay. So then the second time you did it, so that was version 1, about 500 DMs, about 25 applications. How did it go the second time, and what did you do different? And was it your Facebook contacts, or was it something different?
I decided this time that I would look at doing phone calls initially. I did a lot of phone calls to my brokerage database to follow up with people that I've been in touch with in the past, whether it's through past experiences, past life experiences, or work. I did a lot of phone calls. That generated, I think I did about 200 phone calls. Of that, I got 9 solid leads out of that, 9 very solid leads. And again, it's planting the seed. There's a lot of voicemail that you're leaving, right? There's not a lot of live calls.
If you make 200, have you made 10 calls? How many calls did you make a day what was the number that you were aiming for?
Yeah, it was about 10 to 15, Scott.
And then how many people would pick up?
2 to 3.
How many people would call you back or text you back if you left a voicemail?
I got some text backs. I didn't get many callbacks, to be honest with you.
Right. If they're either going to answer or they're going to text back.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
And okay, so about 9 leads from that. And then again, did you have people that did not respond but have since circled back to you with asking you about a mortgage? From the calls that didn't, you left a voicemail, but they didn't reply to your voicemail or anything. Did you see that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm working on 2 deals that have come from scenarios like that.
Right. So the reason I'm asking this is, if you're listening, is hint, this is important. It works. It's a math. Partially it's math. It's math and effort. You put the effort in, the math will work in your favor, and consistency will win the day. Okay, so now it's version 3. So now you're on round 3 of we call it Battle Game of Phones. What are you doing different this time?
So it's just going back and doing the same video DMs to social media. I'm also going through the contacts in my phone because I have a lot of old contacts in there from, again, hockey days and things like that. I'm doing videos to those contacts as well. You have the ability to do a quick video chat with them as well. So, and just the same script as what I used before.
Sounds so complicated. Sounds like really difficult. This is so good. This is the most basic way to make money I've ever seen. But most people listening, you just have to do it. Okay, so when you're sending the phone call, what was your voice message? So let's say you and I played hockey together and I don't answer. Yeah. This is a script if you're listening. What would you leave on my voicemail? It's like, ring, ring. Hey, Scott here. Sorry, I can't answer your call. what would you say?
Yeah. Scott, it's been a while. Know you from hockey and just do this every once in a while on my contact list and on my social media. I just like to remind folks that I do mortgages. If you need a mortgage or if you have any questions about a mortgage, please reply to me. And if you have any family, friends, or coworkers that need a mortgage, if you'd refer me, I'd really appreciate it.
Do you feel that this is any way, do you feel salesy doing this?
No, not at all. And that's why I'm comfortable doing it.
And I don't think it is salesy because you're with the intent is to serve. I mean, I think salesy is you're trying to. To me, it's you're trying to sell somebody something they don't need, and in your case, you're just trying to serve people. So your mind is like, I'm not bothering them. I'm just there to help.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit of information. And if it helps you, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. I haven't taken up much of their time. It's about 20, 25 seconds, and that's about it.
Okay. And since how many contacts do you have on your phone? And that's my first question. The second is, how do you decide who you're going to call and who you're not going to call? Or do you just start at the top and call all of them?
Just start at the top and call all of them. I think I'm through to I's right now. So I've got about 450 contacts in there. Yeah, I've made it through about half.
And how many leads have you got from those calls?
From those contacts, I think I'm at about four leads right now.
Planting the seed. You're a farmer. Too many people think I have to go out and get a deal today. When if you plant these seeds, you'll eventually need to hire an assistant, brother. That'll be your challenge will be especially if you stick to this for a year, 12 months of consistent seed planting, next year you farm. And that'll be I guarantee it. Have you got any negative feedback? And if you have, how do you process or handle it from any of these things you're doing?
I got to be honest, I don't have any negative feedback from it. I've never had anyone, text me back and say, take me off your list, or
they just won't reply at all if they're not interested. Well, exactly. I had a friend who used to do Dustin Carlson from Texas, and he was very active on the phone. And he told me he would call people until they moved into a care facility. That was, and even then I said, really? He goes, yeah, I've called people when they're like, I'm moving into a care facility. They're like, oh, what do you do with your house? I'm selling to my son. I can help him. And he got mortgages from the kid who's buying the property of the parent who's moving into a care facility. I mean, he just did not have any sense of, at the end of the day, they had to get, here's the thing, you guys, if you're listening to this, is they're going to have to get if they need a mortgage, they're getting it from somebody. They're getting it from somebody, whether it's you, if you're their friend or contact, or someone else, they're going to get it from someone. They may as well get it from you. And hopefully, if you're listening, you're ethical. If you're not, please go listen to a different podcast. But if you're an ethical, honest person who's going to take care of your clients, I believe you have a moral obligation to call them, because then at least they're not going to get screwed over with some weird lender products or fee structures that don't make sense that you'd be shocked at if somebody else did it, right? Okay, so that's amazing. So what would you say to someone who's struggling with this right now and they realize they need to do it? What would your talk be to them if I could say to you, like, how would you get them to overcome this reluctance they have?
It's just the easiest thing that you can do for your business. It really is. And it's just you and your phone, right? I mean, you're not up there talking in front of hundreds of people. You're just recording a heartfelt message that is simple and easy to deliver and makes an impact on your business. So,
right. I think you said you have about 10 million that you've added to your business from doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The start of my year was not good. And then I started doing this and it's turned it completely around. And
how much time do you think you spent? So since you started this, how much time do you spend a day and a week on these prospecting activities?
I would say 4 to 5 hours a week. That's it.
An hour a day, essentially. Yeah. And you added $100,000 of gross commission to your income by an hour a day of work. I don't know what else you could do that would pay that kind of ROI. There's going to be dividends come from this in the future because, as people know, they need a mortgage every 3 to 5 years. So there's a bunch of seeds you planted that are not coming yet, but will next year and the year after that, right?
Absolutely, Scott. Yeah. I'm looking forward to 2026.
Yeah, like giddy up. Let's go. Is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you think would be helpful for our listeners?
I can't think of anything right offhand, Scott, to be honest. I think we went over it. I mean, the message that I wanted to convey was simply the video DM is an incredible tool to personalize your message to people that you haven't seen for a while. And like you said, it doesn't necessarily happen today, but it's going to happen. When it does, it's important that we keep top of mind for people when they do need a mortgage or need assistance with a mortgage.
And then yeah, that's amazing. When you worked at the bank, I guess, did you do anything like this at the bank, or is this this new for you?
To be honest, and I've mentioned his name a couple times, but Adam Walker got us started on this when he was my sales manager at CIBC. We did a little bit of Game of Phones at one point. I never did video DMs or anything like that, but we did do phone calls similar to the Game of Phones that we do now.
It's funny how many people call it Game of Thrones instead of Game of Phones because it's just it's like no, you don't sleep with your cousin or your sister.
No,
that's weird. You just grow your business. We're not into that kind of weird stuff. That's not what this is about. But where can people find you online if they want to connect with you?
scottmortgageguy.ca.
Okay, you know what? That's one I should have got. Why? What was I thinking? Not getting scottmortgageguy.ca. I've been in the business 19 years. Like that was a miss on my part, brother. So thanks for chatting with me, man.
I just got a new website with it. So yeah,
fantastic. Well, thanks for chatting with me. I really appreciate it, and congrats on your success. And I'm really excited to see how you can continue to grow this over the next 6 to 12 months.
Thanks a lot, Scott. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for listening, and hopefully you're inspired from my conversation with Scott. So 2 quick things. First, this is not a complex thing to do. You can absolutely grab a couple friends, do this yourself, run your own Game of Phones or Battle Royale. And I promise you, it'll significantly move the needle in your business. Or 2, if you don't have those kind of people around you at our brokerage, this is something that we do all the time. We would be happy to chat with you to help you get your business going. You can reach out, DM me, send me an email, and we can have a chat and help you get plugged into a culture where we're all about collaborating and sharing with each other. Like Scott had nothing, he has no problem sharing anything that he's doing because we have a belief that when we share, we actually all get better collaboration and we can all grow our businesses. And there's a lot of opportunity out there for everybody. So that's interested in you. You can definitely reach out to me. Otherwise, thanks again for listening. And as I always say, there's no problem in your mortgage business someone else hasn't already solved. Your problem is who's got the answer. This podcast is designed to provide some of those answers. Thanks for listening, and I will see you on the next episode.